Hello. Thank you so much for joining me today. My name is Lyndel Schuster, and I am here today to talk to you about current job trends in the nutrition industry and provide you with some key tools for career development. What deems me qualified to talk about that? Well, for starters, I've been a registered dietitian for almost 20 years, and for the last 2 years, I have been working as a dietitian recruiter. Talk about having a behind-the-scenes look at our profession. On any given week, my team and I review hundreds of RD resumes, speak to handfuls of RDs working in all kinds of settings, and discuss job opportunities with applicants from all across the nation. We chat with everyone from the dietetic intern wanting to get a jump start on that first gig, to the empty nester wanting to become a travel dietitian, to the retired RD who is looking for a little something to help keep them current and engaged in the nutrition world. We love our RDs, and we love finding them their next big or side gig. In fact, most years we have managed to place over 500 RDs in 48 states across the nation. But let me be frank with you, it's not always as rosy as it sounds. It's a grind, and it's tough work. Our recruiters sometimes work around the clock and over several time zones to ensure our RDs and our clients have successful placements. We know that patient care and patient satisfaction are our clients and RDs' top priority, so hence they become our top priority. I don't know about you, but I think I've been asked at least twice a day, how has the pandemic changed what I do at work? Well, for starters, there aren't as many jobs to fill. At first, we were busy navigating the uncharted waters and tackling things like hero pay, filling crisis relief positions for pop-up hospitals in the hot spots, providing daily and weekly check-ins to our dietitians out there on the front lines, navigating the CARES Act, and that is just to name a few. Then, we started to notice a sharp decline in job requests and job opportunities in general, across all settings. We talked to clients from food service directors to the clinical nutrition managers, nursing home administrators, HR directors, and they're all saying the same thing: low census, and that means a decrease in staff and a decrease in budget. The good news is we are finally seeing an uptick in job requests, and registered dietitians are still essential in the acute and long-term care settings. If you are ever doubting whether you should keep those RD credentials or make a career transition, you are not alone. However, you might want to keep these facts in mind. In the acute care settings, there are regulatory requirements. For example, hospitals that receive accreditation from the Joint Commission are required to provide the nutrition needs for their patients. Regulations also require that any patient who is identified with a positive nutrition risk must receive tailored nutrition therapy, a service provided only by a registered dietitian. Likewise, CMS also mandates nutrition risk screening and requires that any patient identified with a positive nutrition risk receive a full nutrition assessment, which is a service provided exclusively by registered dietitians. In the long-term care setting, as you are probably well aware of, there are many regulations. Dietitians are the only clinicians on the interdisciplinary team with the unique expertise to provide customized solutions to nutritional concerns. CMS requires that a facility either employ a dietitian full-time or have a consulting dietitian with frequent scheduled visits. The reimbursement rate that a facility receives for a specific admission is based on the 5-day MDS assessment. Thus, if a facility wants to claim non-therapy ancillary comorbidities for a specific resident, the comorbidities and any supporting documentation must be documented early in the resident's admission. This is impactful and underscores the importance of having a full-time dietitian rather than one who provides intermittent consulting services. If a dietitian is not present to complete the nutrition assessment and the 5-day MDS within that window that CMS requires, a facility could realistically miss out on a higher rate of reimbursement while awaiting a consultant dietitian's documentation. So, all that being said, it's never a better time than now to brush off that resume. My biggest piece of advice is this: always have it updated and saved in multiple locations so that you can easily send it off or upload it. This includes saving it to your mobile device, as many job applicant platforms allow for mobile applications, ours included. Don't delete any part of your resume. Keep those bits and pieces in a folder so you can swap them out to target a specific role. For example, you may remove an experience where you were working in a pediatric clinic for maybe a part-time, and perhaps it's just allows your your resume becomes lengthy with that, but maybe you're trying to branch into a pediatric role. You might want to put that back on the resume. So I have included a sample resume on the slides, along with the answer to the long debated length of the resume. Very simply, your resume should not be longer than 1 page if you have less than 10 years of experience in the industry, and more than 10 years, then it's safe to go to 2 pages, but no longer than that. This is advice coming from someone who reads, like I mentioned earlier, hundreds of dietitian resumes per week, usually. The world looks a lot different out there right now in terms of the hiring process. You may very well be asked to conduct a virtual interview. Keep in mind that many facilities still want you to work on site, but with safety precautions in place. However, in attempts to decrease overall traffic through the facility, the HR department may request a virtual interview. So here are some tips to keep in mind. This is your virtual interview checklist. Before the interview, you want to prepare your backgrounds. I'm sure we've all seen those bloopers out there now with all of these Zoom and other platforms that can happen. So you want to make sure you're in a safe, locked up space with a quiet, serene area around you. So lessen your distractions. Test your laptop's camera. Test your laptop's sound and mic. Test the platform. For example, if you are using Zoom and you're not familiar with it, you might want to check it out prior to. And set up a mock virtual interview. Typically, this could be done with a coworker, colleague, or a friend or family member. It really helps to set the stage and help you feel a little more comfortable when it comes to go time. So during the interview, you'll still want to dress professionally. That hasn't changed. Close all distractions on your computer, monitor your body language, and speak clearly and slowly. Sometimes there could be a bit of a delay. After the interview, be sure to follow up with the interviewer and thank them for their time, just as you would during a traditional interview. So that being said, here's what hasn't changed in the event you are asked to come on site for the interview. Arrive early, research the organization and make notes. Always bring an extra resume, or 3. Answer questions with experiences, not just yes or no. Build yourself up without putting others down. Portray confidence but not arrogance. Always ask about next steps. And then again, send a thank you note or an email following the interview. Lastly, you might be asking, how do I use a recruiter, or why should I use a recruiter? Well, for one, recruiters can save you time. We take care of working with HR, with the hiring managers, sometimes a few, and the negotiating, the back and forth. So we can help you in all of those areas, but also to help broaden your network, so to help you get your foot in the door. We can also help navigate the process while enhancing your career building toolkit. For example, if you have questions about a resume, cover letter, and interviewing skills, interviewing questions, we can always help with that, and also to widen your opportunities. Many times recruiters know about opportunities before they are posted. We can also be your advocate to the hiring manager. Once we get to know you, we can find out what exactly you're looking for and what they're looking for to make sure it's a good fit for all. So, thanks again for tuning in with me today. Please connect with me on LinkedIn. I am happy to help with any further questions.